Here are 5 awesome watches under $1,000. Lodgings Hydro Conquest 39mm. I just did a review of Hydro Conquest 39mm not that long ago, and that watch really impressed me. Not only does it have a list of specs that you can brag to your friends about, but also it's a very comfortable watch to wear. The one I reviewed is a slightly more expensive, slightly more high-end, I guess, version of the Hydro Conquest 39. It has a ceramic bezel and a slightly different design. The one we're talking about today, the one I'm featuring on this list, is a slightly simpler version of the same watch for under $1,000. It doesn't have a ceramic bezel and it has a slightly different design. However, the movement in this watch is still the same. It's powered by the caliber L916 automatic movement, which is essentially an ETA 2892 movement with 64 hours of power reserve. This diver has 300 meters of water resistance, but it's still under 12 millimeters. It also has a very comfortable dimension of 39 millimeter case diameter and about 47 millimeter lug-to-lug distance. This should be a very comfortable watch for majority of the wrists. For under $1,000, this is a great and comfortable diver. Next up, Seiko SB143. I know that some of you might be making faces at spending close to $1,000 on the Seiko, but I promise you, this one is worth it. When these watches were first released and announced, there was so much interest from the watch community in these watches. There was so much hype. They were selling well over $1,000. And of course, the official MSRP is north of $1,000. However, nowadays you can find them on eBay, you can find them on Chrono24 for well under $1,000. Some gray market dealers, some great used conditions, you can find them for around $700. And at that price point, well, this is one hell of a watch. First of all, the design is iconic. This watch, of course, pays tribute to the legendary Seiko diver 62 MAS or 62 Moss as it's known. I think Seiko got the proportions right. They nailed it with this design. It looks good, it feels good on the wrist. I did a review of one of these watches a while ago and it really impressed me. I actually for a while considered buying one, it just wasn't in the stars. This watch is a true definition of a strap monster. It looks great on the stainless steel bracelet, it looks great on rubber straps, it looks great on NATO straps, canvas straps, whatever you put this watch on, it looks fantastic. It's not only the design of this watch that's impressive, the specs are also impressive. You have 200 meters of water resistance, those great Seiko finishes. It's powered by the caliber 6 R36 automatic movement with 70 hours of power reserve. It's a pretty reliable and an accurate movement. I really like the color of this dial too. It's this off gray and it kind of camouflages itself depending on what type of lighting condition you're in. Just everything about this watch screams quality. It's not your usual terrible Seiko. What is kind of usual terrible Seiko about this watch is the bracelet. Seiko for some reason refuses to do something about their bracelets. Some of them just don't feel as quality as the rest of the watch. Unfortunately, this watch is one of them. If you can overlook the shortcomings of the bracelet, I think you'll be really happy with this watch, and it's actually one of my favorites on today's list. Tissot Gentleman Powermatic. This is the most affordable watch on today's list, but don't let the affordable price deceive you. This Tissot is a very capable timepiece. The finishes are great. These watches in person look and feel way more expensive than they actually are. Tissot is punching way over its weight class with these finishes, and just what they have done here in terms of dial design, in terms of dial balance, in terms of comfort on the wrist, they nailed all aspects of this watch. I would classify this watch as your everyday casual watch. This could be your one watch to rule them all, so to speak. It has 100 meters of water resistance. It has that kind of classic balanced design, so you can wear it to the office. You can also wear it to the beach. You can wear it with a t-shirt and jeans or a tracksuit. Whatever situation you will put this watch into, it looks like it belongs there. Even put this watch on a leather strap and you have yourself a pretty cool looking dress timepiece. And it's got the dimensions to pull it off. It's got a 40 millimeter case diameter. It's only 11 millimeters thick, so it will slide under the cuff of the shirt if you choose to wear this one as a dress timepiece. It's comfortable, it's well balanced on the wrist, and it's got the specs to prove. As I mentioned, great finishes. This one is powered by the Powermatic 80 movement, so it's got 80 hours of power reserve. The popular ETA movement, I guess it pays to be part of Swatch Group, and at around $600 on the gray market, of course, you can't go wrong with this piece. Now, if you look around and you go for a used version, you can score them for even cheaper, around $500. And at this price point, I think This could be one of the best value for money watches on the market right now. Alpena Star Timer Pilot Heritage GMT. The name of this watch is almost as long as the history of Alpena. Alpena is one of those heritage watch brands that has started 100 years ago. I think they started in 1883, but nobody really talks about this brand too much. It's one of those heritage brands that kind of flies under the radar. Of course, nowadays Alpena is owned by Citizen Group, but nevertheless, they still don't get the attention that they deserve. In my opinion, there are quite a few different attractive Alpena watches in their catalog. The one I chose for this list, Star Timer GMT, is among my favorites. I think it offers a great combination of design and specs. The design is very much 1970s inspired. We've seen this design in various forms. It's very popular right now and I love it. You have your choice between a few different color options. You can have black, blue, and I think there's a white version. You could also choose between a stainless steel finish on the case or a PVD coated finish on the case. I personally would go for the stainless steel one, but it's nice to have a choice between the two. Now, of course, on Alpena's website, the official MSRP is well over $1,000 on this watch. But because Alpena is one of those underrated brands, you can find them on gray market, on eBay, on Chrono24, under $1,000. And at this price, with this spec list, with the design, it's great. The watch has 50 meters of water resistance, which is not fantastic. I guess it's all right for this type of a watch. It also has a 42 millimeter case diameter, so it's a bit larger than other watches on this list, but still reasonable case diameter. It is a very slim watch, however, only 11.5 millimeters thick, so it wears nice and flat to your wrist. It's a comfortable timepiece. You can choose different types of straps for it. You can go with NATO, you can go with leather racing straps, which I think would look fantastic on this watch. You can go with something like a classic leather strap. There are just various options to go with this watch. I also love that inner rotating GMT style bezel. You don't often see inner rotating GMT style bezels. Usually they're diver bezels, so having a GMT bezel like that is kind of unique. I also like the fact that the GMT hand is not actually a hand, it's this inner rotating disc, which kind of looks unique and again makes this watch stand out from other watches in its category. As I said a few times through this video, Alpena is super underrated. I want to shine more light on this brand because I think they make some great watches. Mido Ocean Star Automatic. You might be asking yourself, Oleg, do we actually need another Swatch Group watch on this list? Yeah, we already have 2 Swatch Group watches on the list, but I think this one deserves the attention because it's a great watch and it would be a shame not to highlight it. And just like Alpena is a little bit underrated as a watch brand, Mido, in my opinion, is also a bit underrated. They have great history, great long traditions of watchmaking, but in my opinion, they're kind of overshadowed, at least in North America they are, by Tissot and Lodgings. So here I want to shine a little bit more light on Mido because they make some great watches, especially this Ocean Star Diver. You get great finishes, great fit on the wrist, 40.5 millimeters diameter, 13.5 millimeters thick, so it's kind of similar in terms of proportions to a Rolex Submariner, and we all know this type of fit looks great on majority of wrist sizes. I should mention that this Mido model is available in a few different color combinations. The one that I like the most is the one that I'm featuring in this video, the blue dial, blue bezel combination with this very interesting stainless steel bracelet. There's a lot to like about this watch. You have Swiss made on the dial, you have the power of Swatch Group behind you. Of course, that includes the movement, the Powermatic 80 that's featured in this watch. It's got 80 hours of power reserve, just like the movement in the Tissot. Right out of the box, you get both stainless steel bracelet and the canvas strap, and the overall quality and feel of this watch is great. It feels like a much more expensive watch. It feels like a $2,000, maybe even a $3,000 watch that you get under $1,000. And that's it. That was my list of 5 awesome watches under $1,000. I chose not to go with micro brands or less known brands. I went with the more mainstream heritage brands and different models in these brands that I think deserve more attention. But what do you guys think? Did I miss any watches? What are some of your favorite watches under $1,000? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know. Also, let me know if you enjoy this type of content, this type of 5 watches under certain price category. I'm thinking I want to do maybe one under 2,000 and maybe one under 5,000. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video until the end. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.